I'm pretty sure if somebody, even if people looked at this person as a woman, and if they all find out that if a guy decided to have sex with her, random guy decided to do that, guys would call him gay if they all knew this was a biological. Like, you can look okay, but you can look at the presentation. The presentation doesn't determine. That's my point.
You just said your homeboy would be gay if he made out with this person.
No, I actually haven't even answered yet. To be
okay. So would he be gay or straight?
If my homeboy decided to have sex with this guy.
No, not guy. Dude, woman. She has a vagina. You can't wait, yo, you can't help but see her as a woman now, okay? Come on.
Yeah, but there's nuance to it. You trying to get me to give you a plain answer. I'm trying to describe to you how people would look at this. How most guys would look at this.
All right. You know, listen, I think most guys are going to look at this conversation and think that you need to do a little more research into this.
I don't. So I heard you debate another guy the other day, and you were saying your definition of what a female is. I mean, a woman is, and he was saying his definition, to become a woman, you have to like have some type of gender dysphoria.
Yes.
And you were saying no, you just gotta identify it. And
yes.
What I wanted you to tell me is clarify on that. I don't agree with your definition because it doesn't exactly make sense. His made a little bit more sense, even though I don't agree that anyone can become a woman. But if I had to pick a definition, his made a little bit more sense than yours, because yours makes absolutely, like, I don't get it. Like, can you clarify on that?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. I'm just out of curiosity. Did you watch the whole debate, or did you kind of just like skip through it a little bit?
I watched the whole debate. I didn't skip through it.
Okay. I thought that I gave a decent breakdown in that one, but I also remember some people saying it was a little bit confusing. So I understand that completely. So totally fair. But yeah, my definition is that well, first of all, let me break it down as simply as I can. Okay, so obviously, you know my approach that sex and gender are two separate things. There is sex, which is the biological side of things, hormones, everything else. And then there is gender, which is like the social expectation, presentation, and roles that we tend to assign to people. That, yes, those assignments are correlated with biology, but we have socially decided to correlate them with biology. So there is a disconnect from a social element of gender and a biological thing called sex. Gender refers to a socially constructed spectrum, which is a broad social understanding that we all share. We all generally, at least in America, give or take, can sort of agree on a spectrum of masculinity and femininity, of certain behaviors that are more seen as feminine or more seen as masculine, right?
And yeah.
Right. And it's not just behaviors and presentation, but it's more so this whole conglomeration of things influences the internal identity that you hold of yourself. So if you're told you are a man, here's what it looks like to be a man, here's what that means for you to be a man, here's how you should act because you're a man, that is going to inevitably be something you internalize and take on as a part of your identity as a man. So does that much make sense?
Yeah, but you don't think there's anything men naturally do and women females naturally do and males naturally do?
Oh, sure. No, don't get me wrong. There are absolutely certain natural things that happen. Like, yeah, it's true. Like, since males on average have more testosterone, it might be natural that males are, I don't know, maybe more athletic. I don't want to say more athletic, but more, I don't know, just more likely to engage in certain things because of that fact. Sure. But again, just if there is a natural thing that does occur, I'm not saying that's bad. But what is bad is the expectation built around that. So like, it's true that males naturally are going to be stronger than females. That's true. But it's harmful to say being a man means that you need to be strong. Oh, you got beat up by a girl? What are you even a fucking man anymore? That's the kind of shit that's I don't think is okay. So like having a natural thing or this thing or just kind of having differences between males and females, obviously there are differences. And that's fine. I don't think we should discourage that. I just think we should not enforce these gendered expectations. But we are
Yeah,
getting a
but
little
getting
off
beat up,
subject because I'm not
getting yeah, yeah, yeah. But
because
getting beat up by a a woman doesn't. If people start making fun of you saying you're not a man for it, just because they say that doesn't mean you're not a man.
oh I know.
Obviously, there's yeah. So like, regardless, like that doesn't make any like that doesn't really help your argument. I don't see how that helps
No,
your
no,
argument
no.
on the definition.
I was answering your second question. So I'll break it down more. So now that we've generally agreed that there's the external social construct of gender, which can inform an internal perception of yourself on the basis of that external thing. So I am a man because I see myself this way, I act this way, this is what I prefer to do. And society has sort of categorized a lot of this as being a man. So that's an identity. So that internal identity is what holds the weight. So I am a man whether I'm wearing a dress or whether I put on lipstick or whether I'm super ripped in the most muscular, stereotypical, traditional man ever. I'm a man either
Yeah,
way because of my
you're a man.
right, because of my internal identity.
No, no, because your biology.
No, 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 that's what you're not missing. I'm a male. I am a male, no matter what.
Yeah.
But the
Okay. Is
man
this
is a sense that you have of yourself. It's an internal identity, an internal perception of that you have of yourself in
okay? But is
regards
this
to this
something?
external thing.
Is this something you're coming up with, or has this how it's always been?
What do you mean?
Like
Is this something I'm
when you
coming
were
up with?
okay, when you were a child, did your parents explain what a man and a woman is this way? Did they tell you you can identify as a woman because
No, they didn't need
you
to tell you
feel like
that, nor do they need to. That's what it means
okay?
to be.
How
That's
did
what
they define it to you?
they don't. That I'm defining it to you and explaining it to you, but the concept existed, of course. I was a boy. My room was blue. There were certain expectations. Even when I was younger, I remember like my dad really wanted me to play sports. I wasn't that into it. He really wanted me to. I gave it a shot, whatever. It wasn't like I was ever abused or forced into any kind of thing. Nothing like that ever happened. But again, yeah, there were expectations right off the bat, a collection of behaviors and expressions and expectations that were placed on me because I am a boy. And again, those expectations are social. We have correlated those expectations with biology. It is not a result
Yes,
of
but those
it is not a result
expectations
of
don't make
biology.
you a boy.
Huh?
Those are expectations, but those expectations don't make you a boy.
I know. It's the internal sense of self that you have of yourself that is formed throughout that process. Yeah, usually parents are
No.
going to be like, this is my little boy because he has a penis and you're going to put him in a room with blue and then expect him to play sports when he gets older and play with trucks and whatnot. Sure. And
So are you
most people,
telling
and
me
what,
you were
hold on,
born?
wait, wait, please
We just
let me just explain this a little bit more. Most people are comfortable too with that. Most people are okay with what it means to be a boy, the way that social thing kind of works, the expectations. Most people are more or less okay with that. And that's what that means to be cis. And then there are some people, a rare minority of people, who are incredibly discomforted by the fact that they are being put in a gendered expectation that somehow is misaligning with a gender side of the spectrum that they otherwise align with more so internally.
okay, but why would they align with something else internally? That's my question. If you said that biology and the social construct is like can correlate,
Mm-hmm.
why would somebody align with something that doesn't correlate with what we like? Why would they align with something else? That's what I'm trying to say. Other than
Right. And
what they were born.
so a good example, do you know who Blair White is?
I know the name, but I don't know too
Okay.
much about.
She's like a transgender conservative. I don't like her at all, obviously, but she did talk about when she was first realizing that she was trans as a very small kid. She was talking about being 4 years old and it was her first day at school, she said. And she was with the boy stuff and there was all the blue stuff and the boy side and everything. And she said that again, I'm not saying that 4-year-olds are like, I'm trans all of a sudden and going to like get medical stuff or whatever. It's just that like you start to realize early on that these expectations do not align with the way that you perceive yourself internally. And so
Okay,
Blair
okay,
White
wait, wait,
talked
stop
about,
there.
okay,
Stop there. Yeah. They don't align with what you perceive internally. So you don't feel comfortable with these expectations. But what I'm trying to say is you can be uncomfortable, like you can be a boy, you can be uncomfortable with the expectations they have for you. And it was you're still a boy, whether you're
true.
uncomfortable or not.
True, because it's not just the discomfort, but it's the fact that the way that you identify yourself or the category or side of spectrum that you feel better aligns with you, that um oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. Shit, I knew exactly where I was going with that. Could you say the thing you just said again? I'm so sorry.
I'm saying that you can literally be a boy. It doesn't matter if you're
Right, being
uncomfortable with all these
uncomfortable.
expectations.
Right. Yes,
You're
okay.
still a boy regardless if you're uncomfortable or not.
Yes, you're right, but it's not just because you're uncomfortable with expectations like, oh, I'm a boy and they want me to go play sports and I don't want to, so now I'm a girl. No, it's not just the discomfort with that. It's the fact that your internal perception aligns with something else. It doesn't align with what you are being expected to do. So it's not just, oh, I'm a boy. No, it's that society is treating you and identifying you a certain way that is a major misalignment from how you are viewing yourself internally. There is a
Okay, I
mismatch,
see what
and
you're
that
saying.
is
I
being
see
trans.
I see what you're saying. You're basically saying if you are if you are born like a male, you and society starts looking at you as a boy, they have these expectations as you as a boy, and you don't feel comfortable with that. You actually like the expectations that uh girls have. So that's
Huh?
why you internally switch to a. Is that what you're saying? You like the expectation of
No,
you.
so
You don't
so
feel comfortable.
it would be that a there. Okay, yes, to a degree, sure, but that's, I mean, the reason that my initial instinct there was to push back was because it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Obviously, it's not just like, oh, it's the expectations. But yeah, it's the social category and role that you feel you better align with internally based on the way, I mean, just based on the way that either you see yourself. I don't fully understand it, mind you. I don't know entirely how it works. I'm not trans. I don't understand completely how the mismatch originally occurs, but there is a mismatch there, and it's pretty easy to tell early on. And that mismatch is just the person having an internal sense of self that aligns with the different side of the gender spectrum, more or less. So that's why a woman can be someone whose internal perception aligns with what we culturally view as being feminine, and you can be biologically male.
But the thing is, we have to look at why those expectations were like created to begin with, because we understand the reason they're created like that is because of the difference between a female and a male. That's why those were created in the
There are a lot
first
of
place. So you
expectations
can't.
that have nothing to do with that, actually. I mean, there's a big one. All about like women should be nurturers, caregivers. Like it's disputed whether or not women are actually just naturally always better caregivers. That might not even be the case all the time. We
But
don't like that. And
they
all
naturally like go to that.
okay, but the expectations, at least the majority of them, do nothing but hurt things now, right? So like
Okay, it
women
can
should be
hurt
caregivers
things,
and
change it.
men should be off working. Well, what if this family unit works better with the man being at home and the woman's off working?
Okay, that's fine. That's still fine, but it doesn't change
So why does
them
the
from being a man for.
expectation, I know it doesn't, but why does the expectation need to be that you are a man, so your role is to be out working? Why does that
Because
expectation need to be enforced? That could just be the norm, but if people want to deviate from it, so what?
but you got to understand why people feel like that. They feel like that because from the beginning, that's how it was. So obviously, as time goes by, people gonna start feeling like that's what women should do because
Yeah,
they were
but
already doing that to begin with. It
sure.
isn't either way. It doesn't change whether they're a man or a woman,
I'm not saying the
regardless. Like,
expectation is changing whether or not they are a man or a woman, or whether or not they are externally fitting into that expectation. That's why I'm talking about the internal perception. So you're advocating for expectations. You're saying, are you saying that because they've been like this for a long time, that's why we should keep perpetuating them? Because you have to understand that's a pretty bad way to go about things.
I'm not saying we have to keep perpetuating them or whatever. I'm saying the reason. I'm just telling you the reason people are doing it. I'm not saying women should be caregivers just because that women usually go towards that. They don't have to be. If a woman doesn't want to be that, that's fine. If a relationship works better,
But it
the
hasn't
other
even
way
always
around.
been that way. Like you're this is why the biology thing is so flimsy. You're like, well, it's just always been like this. You know that
So where did it come from? Someone just
communal
brought it up out of nowhere.
communal parenting was a thing, if I'm not mistaken, for hundreds of years, where entire tribes would raise children. This modern nuclear family thing, quote unquote, is actually relatively newer, all things considered. So no, this is not just like, it's just always been like this, bruh. It's that things change. People get really comfortable in what they're familiar with. That makes them uncomfortable to see deviance from that. They're not sure why. They get uncomfy, and that's that. That's unfortunately what a lot of people feel like. But at the end of the day, I have nothing wrong with on average right now, men are the ones that work and women are the ones at home with the kids. If that's what they want to do, go for it. More power to you, man. But I don't like the notion that like you are a man and the expectation for you as a man is that you need to be making the money, you need to be out working, because then if you're not doing those things, that means you're less of a man.
It's just the issue with this is just if you can just wake up in the morning one day and just say, I feel like a woman, and you can just turn into a woman that easy. If it's that simple, like you don't see how, because you talk about the problems these expectations have, you don't see how that could bring problems. You just wake up
I
one
would
day.
definitely see that would bring problems if that was how things were really going. But most of the case, that's just not how it is. Most people, when they say they are trans, tend to be sincere in that belief. There's not like a huge group of people waking up and just saying, because I feel trans. It's not just because I feel either like that. It's not just because I feel.
No, no,
It's
you
the
can't
internal
define
identity.
sincere. How do you define sincere? How do you don't know that? You don't know because
Okay,
the
then you're
other guy
disproving
said
your
he likes
argument right now. So if the majority of trans people are, well, wait, you would determine it based on, do they continue living as trans? Are they up to anything else shady? There are stats you can look at how like people throughout their life as trans and whatnot.
Oh, so you're saying you saying you have to live a certain way to be a woman because
Holy
when you
shit.
were
I'm not
debating the
saying you
other guy,
have to do those things. I'm saying that's how they would track the sincerity of it. But regardless, if you're saying they don't know or we can't tell who's sincere and who's not, then who are you to determine that they're not sincere?
okay, but why would we determine it like that then? That's very dumb. Like if someone just says, let's say someone doesn't live up to those they track it and someone isn't acting like a woman. They still acting the
Dude, I was
same
giving
way.
you an off the cuff example because you said there's no way to determine sincerity. And I brought up how there are some studies you can look at of multiple trans people throughout their year that continue to be trans. So it seems as though the majority of trans people continue, based on what we can measure, to be trans. Come on, man. I'm not saying
I
that we
mean, you
track their mental
yeah, that's just
brains
what you
or
say you're
anything.
measuring, but you're not really measuring everybody, are you? Because with that definition,
Of
because
course,
you
you're not
can
measuring
literally turn
everybody.
any day.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Exactly.
I'm
I
going to give you
mean,
the same one I gave to the other guy, okay? What does it mean to be a Christian?
to be a Christian, you just following all this stuff they do as a Christian.
Were you ever raised Christian or anything? Just out of curiosity, I'm not. But this isn't a Christian
Yeah,
debate.
but yeah, I know. Yeah, going to church and stuff. Yeah,
Okay, well, I was raised like really Christian, and the Bible says specifically that in Romans, to be saved, to have eternal life, to go to heaven, all the Christian stuff, one must believe in their heart that Jesus Christ is Lord and profess with their mouth that God rose him from the dead. So what that means is that there are people who have a belief inside about themselves and they view themselves as being sinners in need of God and they view Jesus Christ as being Lord. If they never go to church, are they still a Christian?
I accidentally got a call. But yeah, if they don't ever go to church, I'm not saying you can't be Christian. Yes, you can
Okay,
be
cool.
Christian, but that's
So
completely different.
no, it's not, because we're talking about an internal identity and perception. We're talking about no requirement to go to church or to
Right.
wear a Christian shirt or to be out loud and proud. Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. You don't have to do any of that in order to be a sincere Christian. And then last but not least, we don't know who is a
I
sincere
agree with you.
Christian. You don't know who's actually a sincere Christian, because sometimes the
You're
people that
right.
go to
I agree
church
with
every
you.
day, right? But
But I agree
they,
with you.
but
But I don't agree with you with the gender
but
thing because I
this
think
is the
that's it.
final part, okay? Somebody could wake up tomorrow and decide they're a Christian, and guess what? The
Yeah.
law protects them. You get legal protection from discrimination on the basis of religion. I could wake up tomorrow and decide I'm a Muslim. There is nobody that could tell me I'm not. So does that mean anytime someone says, "Hey, I'm a Muslim" or "I'm a Christian," you say, "Yeah, fucking bullshit"? No, you're not. You can't
Yeah,
tell
but what do
who's
you mean by the law protects them?
that you can't be discriminated against based on your religious belief. Someone
Yeah,
saying,
but
"Yes, you can tell who's a true Christian." Oh, and
you
their name
can't
is "The Truth
discriminate.
Shall Set You Free." Oh, dude.
You shouldn't discriminate against anybody. That has nothing to do with just religion.
Okay, I think you're really missing my point I'm trying to make here. So let me try to break it down again. So right now, you recognize the validity of people who say they are Christian, and sincerity even of people who say they are Christian based on nothing but an internal belief they hold. The same is said
Right.
about a woman. A woman is about the internal belief or perception they have of themselves, and that is what holds the weight, what ultimately determines whether or not they are a woman. But similarly to the Christian thing, if you are a sincere Christian, odds are you're probably going to be making an effort to go to church and read your Bible and whatnot. Doesn't mean if you don't do those things, you're not a Christian, but it means that when you're a sincere Christian, there will most likely be certain signs. Same when someone says, "I'm a woman," and then they are making an effort to present in a more feminine way, then yes, odds are, if they're sincere, they're going to take those steps as well.
Right. I completely agree with you with the religion part, but I don't think the woman thing and gender is a religion. I'm gonna explain to
I'm
you
not
why
saying
I
it's a
disagree
religion.
with you.
I'm
No, no.
giving you an
So
example
look,
of a different
I
type of
know, I know. You're
social
giving me an
identity.
example. You're giving me an example that you think is valid enough to be just like the gender thing. I'm gonna explain to you why I think it's different.
Okay.
Because of your definition of a gender, I don't think that's a good definition. There's another definition of what a woman is, and it's a female adult. And the reason you don't
Adult.
like that definition is because you look at all the expectations and you say it brings a lot of problems. Here are the
It
problems that
excludes
happen
women.
with
Wait.
your
No.
definition.
Please, before you go further, because I really got I need you to elaborate on that. What's an adult human female?
And a
Is it
female,
someone
someone who's
just with
born
a
as a female.
vagina, or is it someone who needs to have a vagina and a collection of biological traits in order to be a female?
Well, so what exactly what you define as sex? Because you say you.
Sex is
Yes.
chromosomes, sex is hormones, sex is genitalia, sex is secondary sex characteristics. There's a big collection
Okay,
of
okay,
things.
yeah.
So,
I'm saying, yeah, all
okay, and
that, like
that's why I was
of sex.
asking you this question, and I'm sorry to keep cutting you down, but the reason is because there are women, people with vaginas, females that you would view as females, and women who have male chromosomes right now. Did you know that?
What do you mean by
There's
male
over
chromosome?
4,000 quote unquote girls born every year who have male chromosomes. There's
So
another
how are they
distinction
a
too, which
female
is,
then? What makes
dude,
them a
would
female?
you say they're a
Like,
female? They have a vagina.
okay, but what do you think makes them a female?
Their
Since
internal perception and identity. That's why
no,
it
no,
doesn't
you
matter
said
what their
that's what
biology
gender. You
is.
said that's
Oh,
what
sorry,
gender was.
sorry. You're right. You said female. You
What?
said female. Sorry, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad. A female is, yes, it's a collection of those things. So if they don't have those chromosomes, well, I would say, yeah, they're probably still a female based on the other side of those collection, the rest of it, I guess. But we don't have a clear
All right
definition.
then.
Wait, hold on. So you can go that route too if you want. But we don't actually have a clear definition, clear cut. This is what it means to be female hardcore. Now there's gray area. What are those? What are people who have breasts, estrogen, and a vagina but have male chromosomes? Are they male or are they female?
Are they born with a vagina?
So is it just the
Like,
vagina then that matters?
I think that's a big priority. Like, are they able to? Because I want to say get pregnant, but I already know your little rebuttal to that. But if they born with a man is not a male is not born with a vagina.
True.
So I think that at least that's the most important part.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to say vagina, that's female, fine. I'm fine with that. That's pretty basic anyway. So how do you know who's a female when you're walking down the street and then you don't look in their pants?
You don't know 100%.
Okay, so how do you determine that they're a woman?
You look at them. Women have certain curves to them.
Uh-huh.
They
And
don't
what if
have
she
like
doesn't?
as big of
There's other social things you look
yeah.
at,
There's other
right?
stuff. They don't have as big of an Adam's apple. Like
Dude, come on, come on.
this. Come on,
You
man.
see
There's other,
somebody walking across far off the on the other side of the street. Okay, you're too far away to tell the size of their Adam's apple or their curviness or whether their chest is flat or
well,
not.
if I
Okay,
can't
what are you
see them,
looking
I
at?
don't
Come
really
on,
know.
you're looking at the social. You're trying to caveat because you know you look at the social presentation first and foremost.
Okay, but check this out though. Check this out. Yeah, you might say, okay, I might concede that's what we look at, but the second we find out, like they say, the second we find out they are born with a vagina, we look at them as a female or a woman. Like that's literally what we look at them as. You
You
can't
don't?
deny that.
You would not.
Yes,
I'm
we
going to
do.
literally send
Yes,
you
we
this
do.
picture right now and you're going to see exactly what I mean.
Bro, I don't
Can you
care how
look at my
much they
channel?
look like a man.
Can you look at my channel? You're
I
saying that if
mean,
this person told you that they actually had a penis, that you would just never be able to not see this person as a man. You would look at this person and be like, yep, I want that person in the urinal next to me.
hold on. It's kind of delayed. I'm kind of waiting for you to
I
show
know.
it.
It's still getting up. Just it'll be up there in a second. It's fine.
Okay, I see it. So if I saw this person from the distance, I mean,
You look at this person up close. They have tits. Dude, come on.
from a distance, dude, from a distance, what you would think is a woman, I guess.
Wait, no, not from a distance. I'm saying you said if you saw somebody and perceived them as being a woman, but then you found out they had a penis, you would never be able to just not see them as a man. I'm asking you,
No, no,
this
no,
is a
no.
person
A
with,
biological penis. There's
you
a
would never be able to
difference.
see them as not a male then? If they're
If I
born
saw
with a
okay,
penis?
if I saw someone with a biological, I found out they had a biological penis, I would
You
look at them as a male.
okay,
Like,
okay, biologically male, yes, fine. But would you look at them as a man? Yeah,
He
because
also
you would
noted that I am an ape.
correlate
And I
them
should
or
go
you
F myself.
go
I
off
mean,
them the same, right? So I'm saying this is someone with a biological penis,
yeah,
okay?
yeah. I think a man is a male. So yes, I would when I find that out, yes. But off looks, probably not
But you said
because
you
that's
wouldn't be able to
like
help but see them as a man. And I'm asking now that you know this person has a penis, can you really not help but see them as a man?
yeah. I would never try to date this person
I'm
because now
not
I know they have
saying
a
you
penis.
need to date that. Oh, wow. It's a little bit back, covered up still. Oh, it was covered up the whole
You're
time.
asking me.
Damn it. I'm
You're
sorry.
asking me without
There you go.
you.
I
You
moved
asking
it.
me, do I still see this person as a man? And I'm asking you, do they have a biological
What if they had it
penis?
removed, like surgery?
Okay, if they had it removed with surgery, see,
Well, yeah,
this is
no, I
based
know.
on what you
This
know
is
and don't
honestly,
know.
you're right. We don't even need to go this route. It doesn't matter. I was
This
only
is based
showing
on
you
what
this image as an example of somebody who has a penis, but it's going to be very difficult to look at them as a man ever in any context.
yeah, yeah, you're right. Most people will see this person, and if they don't know that, they will look at them as a woman. I don't. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I'm saying that if you ask most people and you tell them the truth, now they will immediately look at them as a man.
Okay.
Immediately,
If that's what you
like
want to
that's
say.
true.
But then again,
I mean,
thankfully,
that's
at the end of the
true.
day, that's not what determines the validity. So it's obviously based on how people look at you is going to determine somewhat how they treat you. But that does not determine whether or not you are valid. So even if people look at you and then say, "Oh, I have a biological penis, so now you're a man to me," like that doesn't really change the fact that a woman can be different from a female, and that a woman can be a sense of identity like religion in many ways, whereas sex is far more concrete.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure if somebody, even if people looked at this person as a woman, and if they all find out that if a guy decided to have sex with her or him or
She's
whatever that
married.
is,
She's married actually to a
yeah,
straight guy.
I'm just saying, if a random guy decided to do that, guys would call him gay if they all knew this was a biological like.
Well, that's a conversation for another day entirely, which also breaks down this kind of shit because even like, okay, so what if you just made out with that person? You never did anything else besides made out with them. Are you
Well, if
gay?
we don't know the knowledge about them having
Even
a
if they
penis,
knew, even if they knew, but they
okay,
never
then
saw
that's
it.
gay. Yeah,
They just made
people
out
would
with that
call him
person.
gay. People would call him gay.
Okay, yeah, and that's what I mean is there is so much more to what it means to be attracted to like a woman. You're not just like, what's between their legs, bro? No, you look at their presentation, their appearance. Like there, you
That's
know,
a
there
call a
are,
trick. That's called
no, they're not. Here, I'll
manipulation.
show you one other picture now. Check out my stream. Okay,
Okay.
your homeboy tells you that he just made out with this person. Okay, at the bar. Is he straight or gay? He knew, by the way, that
Yo,
this person has a vagina.
where he knew this person had a vagina.
This person has a vagina, a biological vagina. They were born with a vagina.
Okay, because you're giving these like crazy examples, right?
It's not that
I'm gonna
crazy.
answer like
It's
this.
what it's doing is
It
it's
is crazy.
exposing the dumb fuckery when you go based on biology.
No,
That
no.
it shows you how much you actually look at the presentation and not the biology.
You can look okay, but you can look at the presentation, but the presentation doesn't determine. That's my point.
You just said your homeboy would be gay if he made out with this person.
No, I actually haven't even answered yet.
Oh,
To
okay.
be
So would he be
realistic,
gay or straight?
if my homeboy decided to have sex with this guy, I would say
No,
off
not guy,
look,
dude, woman.
a
Remember,
woman
she
or
has a
whatever.
vagina. You can't
I
remember.
would
You
say
can't
off.
wait, yo. You can't help but see her has a woman now. Okay, come on.
Yeah, but there's nuance. So you trying to get me to give you a plain answer. I'm trying to describe to you how people would look at this. I'm trying to how most guys would look at this.
All right. You know,
They
listen, I
would look
think
at this
most
as
guys are
gay.
going to look at this conversation and think that you need to do a little more research into this. But at the end of the day, thank you for calling in, my friend. I love you and you have a good rest of your day. No homo.